And welcome everybody to the engagement tree. Today we have Sharon Pegg, Northern Powerhouse Consulting, myself, Ben Drury from the Stride Group, and today's special guest, Doug Marshall from Wyre Business Consulting. So thanks for joining us today, Doug. If you'd like to give those people who aren't aware who you are, a little bit of a background on yourself, your career, and really what Wyre Business Consultants do.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on, Sharon and Ben. So, Doug Marshall, Managing Partner of Wyre Business Consultants, newly formed company. We offer accountancy and taxation, so all of the standard stuff from year-end financials through to your tax return and all the stuff in between, so bookkeeping and sort of a payroll and pension support and submissions and stuff like that. So that is our fundamental part of the business. What we really enjoy doing is working with like-minded business owners, entrepreneurs on a regular basis. So it's more consultancy-led as opposed to doing the day-to-day compliance for them. We get involved helping them with the high-level strategies from the initial outset. So I work with a lot of startups that have, big aspirations and ambitions. So they're great, but sometimes the directors, and you may see this in your field too, Sharon, that they're a little bit sort of naive, think everything's going to happen overnight. So it's just a case of getting some basic plans initially with them, potentially sitting around their boardroom table and working and overcoming each challenge, really. So we work regularly, always with the ultimate end goal in sight, really. So that's really enjoyable for us. And it gives us great satisfaction, me and the team, being involved from these businesses, seeing directors flourish. It can chuck in its challenges sometimes where, you have to have honest conversations with the directors and their team. And you can imagine, it's not easy challenging someone that's paying your wage, really. So that's why Business Consultants in a bit of a nutshell. Personally, I've been in the accountancy profession since 16, so that's 17 years now. Recently decided to go it alone after being with a sort of corporate firm for 13 years. I learned a great deal there. They're an awesome firm, but sometimes you've just got to try and do it yourself, really, and satisfy your own desires as opposed to putting other people first for once. So, yeah, it is, mate. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you just can't plan for that. You've just got to remain positive and just continue with your dreams. And we are going to come out of this at some stage. No one can predict the outcome of COVID-19, and there are going to be some pessimists, negative mindset individuals where it's all doom and gloom. But if I can reassure people that, there is light at the end of the tunnel, we could be out of this in, let's say, summer, have a bit of spike in spending, get the pubs, restaurants and retail businesses back up to earning some form of sort of returns. And then hopefully we can all plan ahead and, this time next year it could all be forgotten about, but who knows?
It's interesting what you said then, Doug, about plan. Because of course one of the things that we couldn't plan for was the pandemic was currently in, and congratulations on your business and following your dreams, because actually we need those pieces of hope, and we need those certain goals to kind of keep us going. But for your client base, what would you say has been the biggest challenges?
Well, at the moment it seems to be, and it's one of the problems that's always been there, and that's managing cash flow. Mm-hmm. But with the pandemic, it's caused panic and confusion amongst many, really, probably the country at large. So for me, it's trying to manage the client's sort of mindsets is point one. But ultimately, it's how they survive their current position, and it's somehow trying to get the cash flow back into a position. I think the government have done a pretty good job at the moment. It's still not 100% clear, Sharon, to be honest, on what the whole situation entails, the furloughing and the grants and stuff. I think once it all starts to roll in, I think people will feel a little bit at ease, hopefully. But ultimately, it's trying to manage people's cash flow and their mindsets, and just trying to remain positive. And like you said, plan ahead, do some basic cash flow forecasts, utilise this time, which I'll probably mention a bit later on, about looking at your business. We've all got time on our hands now to really review what we do as individuals, what we do as business owners, what we do as consultants for our clients. And ultimately, we can, utilise this time to our advantage.
I couldn't agree more. It's certainly looking at your business model and how you can work possibly more effectively and efficiently in a different way has certainly started to come out, hasn't it?
Oh, exactly. And I think, are businesses looking at, automation? Are we all a bit old-fashioned in the sense that people should be doing everything? But with digitalisation of the majority of industries, can we look at automation, outsourcing, where actually we're not necessarily looking at cost savings, but it's more productivity and efficiency savings over the long term, really. So I think, this time can be used to really strip your business back, have a look at all of your processes that are in place. Are there any staff that you can work with and develop as opposed to laying off, for example? Mm-hmm. Are there key people that you've sort of ignored a little bit, that you've not focused on because you've been so engrossed in the day-to-day activity? A lot of business owners, and again, you guys will find this, they're quite controlling. So they need to potentially strip back what they're doing and pass on and delegate some of their own tasks to really think of the bigger picture. And that's where, I'm trying to add that value to the entrepreneurs and business owners I work with.
And that takes me quite nicely actually into, I was keen to understand, you're currently working with your clients on their cash flow, on their mindset. Is there anything in particular, support measures that you're now putting in place for your existing clients?
I think it's, the main thing for me is being available.
Yeah.
Mental well-being and stuff is becoming more and more a spoken topic in businesses. And I don't just want to be the accountant you see once a year or the business advisor you see once a year. I want to be a regular person involved day to day. And where I see I'm winning at the moment is I do a lot of stuff out of hours, because you've got your day to do, you've got your work and objectives to achieve each day. They're actually with the homework, home working and work-life balance now, actually I can finish early at the office, come home, see the family, see the wife, play with the kids for a bit, and then jump back on and do a couple of calls where you guys as business owners haven't lost any chargeable time in the day. That's a really good measure that I've always done. But when you're working for large corporates, you tend to have to focus and work around the clock to do your own tasks throughout the day, where as it's my own company nowadays, I can work as and when I see fit and work around the schedule of all my clients as opposed to my own schedule. Organisation's key, of course.
And it's great that you're really seen as being that critical friend for businesses that see things probably through a different vision. So when you've got a business owner who's seen just one end game, you actually can really add value by bringing them that expertise that you do have. But for your clients, we tend to jump onto the negatives when we go through anything like this. It does obviously create opportunities as well. What sort of opportunities have you seen?
I think so. Mainly with my clients at the moment is the healthcare sector is booming. The one particular client that I'll talk about, I won't mention any names or their particular customer, but it seemed to land on them overnight. They were going through tender process and building the working relationship, and they passed all the testings and stuff. But their work has now sort of ramped up. So instead of actually taking their foot off the gas, they're now pressing on through this whole pandemic. So what we need to do as their advisors now is ensure that when the pandemic is over, make sure they are in a position to continue trading at that level.
Yeah.
Because the last thing the last thing we want to see is you go like massive growth, all of a sudden drop because the pandemic stopped.
Sure.
Where really through this whole issue, people are going to lose jobs. Competitors are unfortunately going to go out of business. So with the right mindset, the right advisors around you, actually you could prosper from a really difficult position. And the healthcare in particular is, for obvious reasons, my clients are seeing a benefit there, but it's more doing what they can to support the NHS and the healthcare sector in general, really, as well.
Yeah, so making sure some strong plans are in place, but also not forgetting that we still have to carry on developing our teams, don't we? And they still have to carry on learning so that they're ready when the kind of surge has started to steady off, that they can still then plan for that future prosperity.
Well, exactly. And I think if people are going to lose their jobs, and I've got clients that are growing through this, then more local employment opportunities will arise. And I'll be encouraging that. Being part of Wyre Talent with Ben, that's one of our key focus areas is making sure our local economy in the Wyre Forest is actually growing and not sort of diminishing, really. So that's one of the things we're really key. And with my network of business owners locally, we're always trying to add value to the area. And one of the things we are looking to do over the next few months is increase employability programs and training and development of 16-year-olds plus. You know, it's important that we get these individuals in work. Any unemployment people who aren't employed at the moment, you know, get them back into work, get them ready, get them, let's do some sort of CV writing skills, interview techniques, because I don't think I know that's not really being offered in and around our area at the moment. And I think one of our problems in the area is homelessness, unemployment, and it's key to take a step back sometimes from your own day-to-day task and your own busy lifestyle, and actually try and give back. I don't think enough people do that. That's not a criticism, because everybody is busy, but if we can make a little bit of time available for other people, then, you know, it's a great satisfaction to help others as opposed to helping yourself, really.
Absolutely, and it's good for your well-being, isn't it? The value that you get from that helps to keep you kind of very balanced and measured as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I think this pandemic, this current situation, has given us that opportunity to look at our local communities and look at our wider communities and see, actually, there are opportunities out there for people. It is a very difficult time. There are businesses that are still moving, but for those people who are furlong, for those people who are currently sat and probably looking around thinking, I have nothing to do, now is a time for their own personal development. Those furlong people can still engage in training. They can still engage in apprenticeship opportunities. They can still engage in their own well-being development. They can still ensure that when we come out of the other side of this, that they are prime and ready to perform at their optimum. Now, that could be an elite sportsman. That could be somebody who works within the restaurant trade. That could be somebody who works within the construction trade. Now is a time not for people to go stale, not for people to withdraw. Now's a time for people to do those things around the house, engage in that family opportunity, support that local community, but more so look at their own, and Sharon, you know better than I, look at their own well-being and self-care, but look at their own professional development. Where are they currently sat within their career? If they're a business owner, what does their business look like? As you've said, Doug, engage with people such as yourself and say, what advice can I be given now in order to ensure that when this changes and comes out the other side, which it's going to, that I'm in the strongest position possible to ensure longevity of my own career. But not only that, when I come out the other side, I have a keen understanding of a work-life balance. And I think more than anything, this has taught me is that family and those around are very, very precious. And at times like this, more than ever, when unfortunately things are happening around that you hear and you see, but those people around you are key. And if I can help someone, or if I can support or signpost someone to somebody like yourself, Doug, who can gain that advice and support that can support their business, which in turn then supports their family and those connected to them, then I'll do all I can. And I think this is a key opportunity to see, actually, as a human race, how connected and how great we really are and how much we can support each other.
Great. It's nice to see that community feel
Yeah,
really coming back very, very strongly. And there's some great examples already out there. But we're connecting in some ways a different way.
Yes.
But we're kind of bringing back some of those things that we do forget about when we're all busy and running around.
So I'm keen now. Obviously, I've had a great chat. I know the great work that you're doing with your clients, and I know how much your clients value you. But for those people who aren't connected to you, and those people who currently are sat and watching this and thinking, you know what, I know I need to be doing stuff. What business tips have you got now for people who you spoke about cash flow, you spoke about mindset. What business tips have you got that people can take away and utilize?
I think it is reiterating what the three of us have already said. It's creating that positive mindset where you can, utilize this time to access all the areas of your business, especially if your whole team is furloughed and you've got no revenue stream at the moment. Take your business back to basics and review all of your processes. Look at your staff development plans. What are your competitors doing? How were they doing before? Communicate with people such as your stakeholders of the business, your customers, your suppliers. Make sure everybody around you, find out how they're doing. Can you lend a hand? Because if you offer something now for free of charge, reduced rate, that will pay dividends in the future. I just feel if you sit back and let this absorb you, it could be a big problem. But if you choose to utilise this time in the most efficient way, then review your business, look at any prospects that you've parked. If there's a particular business or client that you want to go after, now is the time. Build your plan, build how you're going to approach that, and contact them, because you don't know how they're going to be dealing with the whole pandemic. They could be in a really difficult position and just want someone to speak to that's outside of their family, their business network. And it just creates that opportunity where you just don't know where it could take you. So for me, it's really focusing your time on your business, the processes, and your prospects.
Perfect. And I suppose we're not talking 8 hours a day here. We're talking to a couple of hours a day you can put to planning if you're furlonged and if you're not operating. Put a couple of hours aside to look at your business strategy, look at your business planning, engaging with people through various forms of social media. I've communicated more over the past week to 10 days in this format than I probably had in the last 3 months, which is crazy, but very much needed.
Yeah.
So on that note, Doug, I'd just like to thank you.
No, pleasure.
Good luck in the future. Good luck certainly working your way through this period. Obviously, we talk anyway. But thank you very much for coming on. Sharon, you want to?
I just want to say thanks, Doug. It's been nice to connect virtually, but I'm sure we'll catch up in the near future.
Yeah, fantastic.
But thank you very much for your time.
No, pleasure. Enjoyed it. And good luck both, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a great Wednesday. Bye-bye.